Deer damage is something a lot of our growers have to deal with, whether we're talking about vegetable gardens, orchards and vineyards, or landscapes. And this is a planting of hostas that was damaged by deer, and this was right outside the living room window, so the deer had no fear whatsoever. Just walked right up and ate on the hostas, which is a favorite food of the deer. And this next picture are strawberries that were planted in a pallet so they'd be somewhat portable, and they grew very well for a couple years, very lush. And then as soon as that pallet was moved to an area that was unprotected, the deer just wiped out the strawberries completely. There are some ways that you can limit deer access, and one of those is with a deer fence. This is a fence that's designed by Clemson University Extension. Uses a two-tier system. You'll have the electrified poly tape that's in the first tier right next to the garden, and then you'll have about 4 or 5 feet out from that, you'll have a single strand of electrified poly tape. And this is the schematic for that deer fencing. You can see that first tier is 18 to 24 inches off the ground. And then you've got the second tier that's close to the crop. You only have 2 strands of electrified tape. And the theory is that the deer can't judge the depth and therefore won't jump over these 2 fences. But I'll include a link to that publication that has that deer fence in the description below. This is another picture of the deer fence. This one used 3 strands for the tier immediately close to the garden, but 2 is really all you need. This was just an extra layer of protection. There are some cost estimates on the Clemson website for an entire acre for this type of fence using fiberglass posts, but you can also use wooden posts like you see here, along with insulators. And it is possible too, if you have a limited budget, you could just enclose an area for the plants that deer like, and then use ones that are more resistant to deer. You can place those outside the fence. So another thing you can look at, there's a couple of publications you can find online looking at deer-resistant vegetables and herbs. This one is from the University of Connecticut Extension. And there's one for landscape plants rated by deer resistance from Rutgers. And I'll include those links in the description below as well.